Good try, that was brilliant.
was out. got it. Yeah.
Traditional amber, myrtle and flame colours again. It's Andy Precious, the relieving kick. Let's see what Nathan Graham can do with this one. Crossfield run, but again, releasing Dennis Bailey on the left. Let's see what Dennis on the outside again. Thinks about kicking, turns inside, puts the ball inside, and that's going to be the first Dewsbury try at Crown Flat in the league match, and it's a try for Chris Vasey. There goes Paul Worthy, drives straight in. Paul's dad, Dave Worthy, ex-Keithley prop of the 1960s. Kelly to Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth, the run-around move. There goes that man, Paul Hughes. Again, Hughes finds Shuttleworth, and coming downhill here at Mount Pleasant, people like Paul Hughes really are a formidable team, as again Delaney changes the point of the attack, but nothing on there. But Paul Delaney, very strong, rides the first tackle. Glen Bell again driving, slips the ball. Again the ball comes out, and again it's another try. It's the wingman Terry Laybourne, Dewsbury's second try of the afternoon. Dewsbury then further extending their lead. Oh, that was a preliminary game in the first round of the Yorkshire Cup. Again they were well beaten, but did bounce back last week against Baro. Of course, this time of the season it's difficult to assess the strength of the team, but Hullsit now looking to beef up the tackle. They have conceded 2 tries, they're trailing by 12 points to 1, and if they're to have any chance in this game, they can't really afford another score, as Dewsbury playing with confidence. That's Shuttleworth again at the hub of everything Dewsbury, moving the ball out. That looks like Paul Worthy, a prop forward turning up in a left centre position, and I'm sure the victory at Shale last week must have given Dewsbury an awful lot of confidence, and they're looking to throw the ball about again. Shuttleworth to Delaney to Coughlin again. Glen Coughlin again puts the ball inside, and again that's good play, good running, good support play. Dewsbury really buzzing. Neil Kelly acting halfback. Kelly to Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth looks left, but eventually the ball does come out. Delaney to Dennis Bailey, and again that's the third Dewsbury try. Dennis Bailey comes off, and Gary Sidebottom, he's been well involved as Dewsbury. Paul Shuttleworth to Nathan Graham. Nathan Graham just can't evade that tackle, but again Dewsbury looking to play football. Dennis Bailey in a midfield position, gets the ball from Neil Kelly, moves the ball out, and Dewsbury players all over the place. Dennis Bailey back in possession, and again that looks like Kelly going down the left flank, and again moving the ball. Dennis Bailey, that's the third time Denis is in possession, and Denis is going to score again. That's again Dennis Bailey, the third time in that move. That's the fourth try for Dewsbury. This are in possession. Kelly to Worthy. The props having to do the hard graft, driving the ball away. This time Glen Bell goes blind, but it's Gary Coxe goes on the open side, and a good slip. Gary Coxe to Paul Delaney. Paul Delaney to Paul Shuttleworth. Now then, has Shuttleworth got the legs to go? He's got Vasey with him, and in fact Chris Vasey has scored. That's a good try by Dewsbury. That's a down as Hunslet kicked the ball, but that's back to 1. Paul Delaney in possession. Nathan Graham there just lacking that yard of speed, really. He just cut down in the shadow of the post. Paul Shuttleworth keeping the ball going. Dennis Bailey in possession. Dennis Bailey manages to cross again. Good support play by Dewsbury. Takes Dewsbury in to the... Youngster Teddy Laban just came into the Dewsbury side this season, played as a substitute in the friendly against Oldham. A good game on that occasion, and he's played ever since on the right wings. Delaney moves it into Worthy, but well policed. Marcus Charles there, number 10. Gary Hall as Kelly misses out a man to Delaney, misses out Coxe to Squires. Squires has got Hughes running, and he was certainly the danger man in the first half. If Paul Hughes can be got into space, he's the pace and power to do an awful lot of damage to the Bramley defences. Gary Coxe, his second row partner, turns the ball in field to Kelly. He's got Delaney. Delaney's got Squires. Squires goes solo, gets a lovely pass. That's going to be the first try, and that's good support play. And that's just the try that Dewsbury wanted. That really was good support play, and the man that came in might well take the 2 league points as opposed to the 1. As Delaney gets Shuttleworth, as Shuttleworth moves the ball across. Eventually it's Dennis Bailey in possession. Dewsbury managing to keep the ball going, but good run, good breakthrough there. It's like Coughlin going forward. Kelly attacking halfback, takes it to the left. Dewsbury driving now. The crowd starting to get behind them. Just 2 tackles gone, still 4 more tackles to play in that Bramley 25. As the ball comes in field, Shuttleworth throws the long ball. Paul Hughes, he's gone rather quiet. He was storming first half, but we haven't seen a lot of him this half when Dewsbury haven't had a lot of the ball. In fact, the ball goes back. Dennis Bailey in a midfield position. In fact, Dennis Bailey's broken. Dennis Bailey from nowhere has scored the try that could well win the match. There was nothing on. Dennis Bailey cropped up. He wasn't on his left wing position, but perhaps Denis in an unorthodox Dewsbury. They always say the kick is only as good as the chase. Delaney to Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth brings in young Laban from the wing, and Laban again gets a good slip to Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth's got the ball to Delaney, and Dennis Bailey on the outside, but he just hadn't the room then. The crowd, the cries were up for Dennis Bailey, but he had to come infield on that occasion. But again, Dewsbury certainly got the bit between the teeth as Dennis Bailey again goes over on the far side. His second try in 5 minutes, and I'm sure that try is going to be the one that really seals the game for Dewsbury. Opening try of the afternoon. This time it's the other winger. It's a different ploy, of course. most times you're going to bring the big props in, but when you bring in Leybourne or Denis Bailey, you've got that bit of extra pace. It's certainly coming a bit darker here. It's almost like the winter games, so we're getting towards the 2:15 kickoffs. This time it's the switch move to Delaney. Delaney's got Dean Hall, and then Dean Hall has crashed over again. We've said Dean Hall, a good man if he's coming off the ball, players. A couple of times he's tried it, he's lost the ball, but that time...
Go on, Nick! Go on, Nick! Back up, Jewsbury! Get with him! Get alive! Stop too deep! Take him up, Willie! Get two passes together, you.
Come on now, Dewsbury! Norman, give it up!
Come on, the lucky bugger!
Come on, run on to it! Somebody run it! That ball, kill it! Well done.
Get deeper, Jules! Deeper! Get on him, David!
Fucking shot, Jules!
Come on, Jules! Come on, Jules!
Come on, Jules, come on! Run with it, Nick! Come on,
Run on to it, Jules!
come on, I feel work! Come on, I feel work! Work!
Come on, you're not fast enough!
Come on, Glen! Give me! Get on there!
Come on! Quick down!
Come on, out!
One, Jules! Get alive! Sort it out, Jules! Come on, runner! Well done, Glen!
Get him back!
Come on, get up there, Jules, Glen. Go on, Jules.
Get him back!
Come on, Jules, this way.
Come on, Paul!
Let's come on here,
The 6 tackles. Paul Worthy. Met by number 10, Malcolm Beale, and by hooker, Sean Patrick. Kelly to Garforth. Garforth again struggles forward. Second tackle gone for Dewsbury. Neil Kelly flicks as if it could be coming blind, but it goes open. Delaney, the run around with Shuttleworth. In fact, it doesn't come, and it comes trying to bring on that man, Dean Hall. They just can't get the second rowers free. They're attempting to get them coming off the runners, but the Scarborough defence moving up quickly. Shuttleworth again looking for his runners, but a good tackle by Peter Smith. Nothing on Paul Delaney. Good slip. He's got Kelly with him. Kelly looks out. He switches to Nathan Graham. Nathan Graham's got Paul Hughes. This is going to be the first try, surely. In fact, Dewsbury get over the line. It was desperately close. They made hard work at the end. Paul Delaney was involved in that song. You've always got the variety. Neil Kelly then. A long ball to Delaney to Shuttleworth. Playing football on the first tackle. Shuttleworth to Dean Hall, and Dean Hall's broken. Peter Smith's in pursuit. Dean Hall runs into the full-back. Dean Hall's still going. Dean Hall's going to score. That's a remarkable try for Dewsbury. That's a remarkable try. Just what they wanted at the start of this half to extend the lead. This game, I can't see Scarborough coming back from round about 14 down. Dennis Bailey again coming in to take the pass from the first tap. As the dummy move comes and Paul Worthy drives forward, leaves the ball behind him. It's all right. Neil Kelly dummies. Again, a little bit of luck on Dewsbury. Worthy lost that ball. It did come backwards. Delaney himself goes, deserves a try for his efforts, and he can't be far away. Certainly played well. Paul Delaney must be a leading contender for the man of the match this afternoon. Shuttleworth puts the ball in. That's going to be the try that settles the game. Shuttleworth teed it up. The man who took it was Paul Hughes, and again, that really should have done. In fact, play on for Dewsbury now then. Terry Laban, has he got the legs to go? Terry Laban pushes the ball out to Glen Coughlin. Glen Coughlin's going under the posts. That was a gift to Dewsbury. That was a try gifted by Scarborough. Fullback Ward made an absolute meal of taking that kick. The ball was taken up by Terry Laban.
Come on now.
Just quick hands.
David Lightfoot, he played for Hull KR a couple of seasons ago, now back in his native Cumbria, and he returns the ball to Nathan Graham, but Nathan Graham beats that man. I think perhaps Nathan Graham thought about getting into one of those good old-fashioned kicking duels, but in the end it's possession again for Dewsbury, which is supposedly 9/10 of the law, and if Dewsbury have the ball apart from the interception, Whitehaven shouldn't score. Gary Coxe, the ball shoots out, but Terry Leyburn again slips the ball out one-handed, and Chris Vasey, good breakthrough by Vasey, beats another man and gets his support, and a good tackle by Whitehaven on Paul Hughes, but it's a good support play by Dewsbury. Glen Bell switches it inside to Shuttleworth. Glenn Coughlin goes through, slips to full-back, gets the support there. This is going to be a try for Dewsbury. The try is there. First try of the afternoon. Again, good support play. Glen Bell was involved. Paul Cameron moves the ball out to Tomato, slips the ball, but only slips it to Dewsbury. And again, it looks like Glenn Coughlin on that far side, so both teams only succeeding in putting the ball inside the opposition. Vasey to Coxe. Moves the ball, comes out to Shuttleworth. The ball comes out to Hughes on the far side. Hughes has got the Australian trialist centre going for the corner. The cover comes across, but the cover is too late. And it's the second try of the afternoon for Dewsbury. It's the Australian trialist centre goes over to increase the lead. Dewsbury 0. Terry Leyburn gets the ball back to Paul Shuttleworth. Paul Shuttleworth. Gary Coxe. Gary Coxe drawing in, sucking in there. Three Whitehaven defenders. Again, the position very much on for Dewsbury. Neil Kelly. This is the Australian trialist centre. Scorer of one try so far this afternoon. As Paul Delaney driving for that line. 3 tackles gone for Dewsbury. Shuttleworth. Good ball, good tackle by Whitehaven on Dean Hall then. They were up quickly because Dean Hall, a powerful man near that line, but Dewsbury camped on the Whitehaven line. As the ball comes in, that's going to be a try. Paul Hughes crashes over. Dewsbury working the ball through Paul Shuttleworth, and from that range, Paul Hughes takes, again, good cover from Dewsbury. The Whitehaven man took a heavy 2-man tackle. It was number 11, Steve Braithwaite, but it's put Dewsbury back in possession. Glen Bell slipping the ball away again. So often in the game we've had both Bell and Gary Coxe slipping the ball away. Coxe again driving in, taking the tackle, relishing the physical combat of the game. Shuttleworth switches it back. Paul Hughes. Again, Dewsbury, ideal attacking position, middle of the field, 15 yards or so out. Shuttleworth again, the long one. Vasey, Bailey, Dennis Bailey powering forward. And Dennis Bailey powering over. The 4th try of the afternoon. Dewsbury 22, Whitehaven 0. In fact, that was a good take by Terry Leyburn. Having a look as it's opposite number Tony Solari. The Australian trialist centre takes it in. There was a little bit of a skirmish before between Terry Leyburn and Solari. Shuttleworth moves the ball on one. Glenn Coughlin breaks. He's got support with him if he gives the ball. The ball's there as Dennis Bailey goes crossfield. Dennis Bailey gets on the outside of the defence. That's another excellent try by Dewsbury. It's the 2nd of the afternoon for Dennis Bailey. It increases Dewsbury's lead to 28 points to 0. Out Kelly to Coxe. Taking 3 with him then. Drawing in half the Whitehaven pack on that first drive. Kelly again. Glen Bell. Again holding the ball up, Shuttleworth with him. Got the support, Glen Coughlin goes between the posts. Excellent start to Dewsbury at the beginning of the half. It was loose forward. Glen Coughlin then. The initial 34 Dewsbury, 0 to Whitehaven. Glen Bell slips that ball away. Shuttleworth gets Coughlin going in the left centre position. Denis Bailey now. Denis is free. Lightfoot comes across. Denis finds his support. The support is Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth gets the touchdown. Good play by Denis Bailey. That was very unselfish play by the wingman. He could have taken Lightfoot on himself. He didn't. Delaney's a gap then if he's going to go, but he brings it into Gary Sidebottom then. Dewsbury driving again. Excellent attacking position. A couple of tackles gone. Around about 10 yards or so from that line as the long pass comes out. Well taken by Nathan Graham. Gets his support as the Australian Hintix goes for the line, and in fact the Australian has gone over. Good try by Dewsbury there, moving the ball from right to left across the field, creating the overlap. Good play by Nathan Graham. Here goes the trialist centre crashing into the defence, and Glen Bell met by a good challenge and trying for all his worth to slip that ball from the tackle. I think if in doubt, hold on to the ball, let's set up the attack. Delaney thought about the long one to Bailey. In the end, took the safer, shorter option. Paul Worthy. Again, the Doncaster pack tackling well. Keeping Dewsbury off the scoreboard. Delaney, Shuttleworth, Delaney. Long ball. Like Coughlin just trying to get that ball to Denis Bailey. Paul Delaney going in hard, and good tackle by the Dons and good close support play by Dewsbury. Shuttleworth puts the chip into the box. In fact, two Doncaster players make a mess of the ball, and they presented the first try of the game. Looks like Dean Hall from here. A good chip by Paul Shuttleworth into the box. Hughes went well up that side. In fact, Dewsbury got the ball from the scrum. Paul Delaney going himself for the line and still going, plays the ball back. Paul Shuttleworth goes over. The Doncaster defence are asleep right on the stroke of half-time, putting Dewsbury into an 8-2 lead. And let's give credit to the Dewsbury. Vasey had just been thrown into touch short of the line. Talking of Chris Vasey, he's there in possession into the line from that scrum. Paul Delaney. Dewsbury continuing with this experiment of playing Delaney at standoff and Shuttleworth at scrum half as Denis Bailey, well policed by Kevin Rain. In fact, Kevin Rain and Bailey just glaring at each other a little bit. Shuttleworth, in fact, Paul Shuttleworth, I don't think he just looked when he passed that ball, just threw it out at the last minute, but Dewsbury still retaining the all-important possession. Glen Coughlin again slips the ball away. Shuttleworth, Delaney, he's got the man through the gap, and it's Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes running strongly, bouncing off tackles and crashing into the 25. Doncaster man injured. In fact, as Paul Delaney slips that ball away, Paul Delaney gets the ball to Paul Shuttleworth. Paul Shuttleworth got Denis Bailey. Denis Bailey nearly going into touch on that far side. The Doncaster man receiving attention. Dewsbury in possession. Shuttleworth puts it cross field. Paul Delaney, the long ball. There must be something on here. Coughlin puts the ball out. Chris Vasey in at the corner. It's 2 near misses in the first half, and that time the try came as Jules removed the ball from right. Martin Rouse tries to chip through this time. That gets a second boot to it, but Chris Vasey just almost brought down by Graham Idle, but eventually the second Doncaster player completed the tackle. Glen Bell bouncing off Rain, but so often this afternoon he slipped the ball out. Denis Bailey, I'm sure the crowd would love to see Denis on the score sheet this afternoon. He's had a good game at centre, of course, often at centre. You're more involved than playing on the wing. Paul Delaney now got to the fullback to take on, goes on the outside of the fullback, and Paul Delaney goes over at the corner. Again, that certainly settles the game, puts Dewsbury onto the 20 points mark. Dewsbury 20, Doncaster 2. Paul Delaney bounced into this time. The kick comes in at Nathan Graham, but again a good tackle by, I think it's Audley Pennant that was in fact it wasn't Pennant, it was Matatu, the centre, who really came in, and both Pennant and Matatu tackled well this afternoon. Switch move again. Glen Bell gets his ball here again. This time Shuttleworth, Delaney coming more and more into it, and this time just slipped, lost his footing. It is a little bit greasy on top. 1 or 2 players, both sides, lost the footing this afternoon as Shuttleworth puts the ball out to Coughlin, to Shuttleworth. Dickinson dummies. Dickinson's got his support with him, and in fact he's still going, and Dickinson gets the ball down. In fact, Dickinson has scored. That try was a reward for perseverance then. He just kept going and kept going. And
yes, again with the kick. Here's our first look at Eddie Rothbell. The Jewsbury fans get behind him immediately. And Rothbell, first touch of the ball. Let's see the speed now. Wow, this is an amazing start for the Kenyan. He's over behind the post. His first touch of the ball. Absolutely sensational, Rob.
Well, we were talking about it before, Martin. We gave him a bit built up, and he's given us our repayment, because certainly that's exactly what they signed him for. I was watching the cover coming across there. They had absolutely no chance of stopping him, because David Ruckley did a super job. Just watch this. The ball going downfield to Eddie Rombo, inside his own 25. Watch this coming up now. Off the left foot, goes round the first one, Phil Windley. Being chased by Chris Vasey. Chris Vasey's no slouch. Comes to David Ruckley. David Ruckley can't take him on the inside. Look at him, Gary Pearce trying to get across there. Chris Vasey still chased him, just touches him, but that's not enough to stop him scoring an absolutely magnificent try, and he's canting. Look at that foot down. Oh, that is something like to go down the pub, but with some of these great games we've seen on a Monday night, I think there's only one night to go.
Yes, indeed, marvellous third division action tonight, and it's going to go right the way to the wire, this one. Squire attacking with some determination, but Delaney's done brilliantly there. He bounced off Dean Clark and has put Jewsbury in a strong position. Denis Bailey perhaps wasn't expecting that ball.
It's not over this game yet. If Jewsbury can get a score, there's still those 9 minutes or so to go, and there'll be a lot of pressure on Scarborough then. Jewsbury certainly looking a little bit the fitter now.
So, is this it? The Dewsbury fans certainly think it is. Shuttleworth to Delaney. Here's Delaney. And it's got, yes, that's the try. That's the try by the substitute side bottom.
Well, I was just saying that if they get a try now, it's going to be a bit of a finale. I don't know who's going to take the goal kicks. We'll have to see. Scarborough just tied in, just a little bit of a slip there. You can see it going when Dean Noble slipped. But there are backs of players out here. Kelly moving the ball on there. Graham, long ball out, side bottom, just taking his whole airborne, can't get the try. Either of them could have scored that, but the try is wide out, and they've still got themselves well in with a chance now.
It's an excellent pass this. You can see from this angle actually what a good pass it is, this one coming up now. There you are, missed out the man. Took the tackler out really with that pass.
Well, beautiful timing because both Clark and Stead went in.
The referee might possibly penalise some of those, because that was quite clearly an injury, but it's not giving them anything because there's only one goal. It's Jewsbury on the attack, and here's Coxe. He's been full of running these last 5 minutes or so.
That's exactly what I said over there. Stupid pass by Brendan Carlisle again. He's put them under all sorts of pressure. They've really got to tackle now, and you've got to fancy Jewsbury scoring the way they're playing.
Here's Laybourne. Well, Laybourne's kept it going. Shuttleworth. 3 minutes to go. What a finish. Well, there's Delaney. My word, this has brought the crowd to their feet.
Just if you've got it, you need to keep it in your pocket, because I wouldn't like to tip the winner now, Marty.
Could go either way. Delaney is playing a tremendous role, and that is a marvellous pass to Coughlin. Here's Eddie Rombo. Here's Rombo. Yes, he's scored. Well, what a tremendous finish. You could not have written a story like this, Ron. Eddie Rombo with the try that could mean victory at the death, really, for Dewsbury.
Well, what can you say? Scarborough must be absolutely devastated with that. But what a signing Dewsbury made. Just watch this. Coming across the line now. They knew they were short on them, but they're beautiful long ball. Gary Clark came in. Missed the tackle. But look at that man Coughlin. I've been talking about him for the last 10 minutes. Rombo looked as though he missed a chance there. Windley covered well. Stepped inside. But look at him go now and fight his way over. Gets over in the corner, and that's a magnificent try. It really is. They say he's got pace. He's also showed he's got a bit of power there, and
period for around about quarter of an hour. It's the first time we've seen play in the Dewsbury half of the field. It's certainly Dewsbury having all the ball, looking to get a few points on the board in this first half, playing downhill. Paul Worthy shrugging men off. Now he's got this time the switch. Shuttleworth looking for the runners now, but Gary Sidebottom gets the ball out now. This is good break from Nathan Graham on the far side. Can he get his support? Eddie Rombo, the eagle, lands the first try at Dewsbury. Good breakthrough from Nathan Graham, and Eddie Rombo, the eagle, lands his 4th try in 3 games. 2 tries at Scarborough, 1 at Huddersfield. For Huddersfield against Dewsbury, I'm sure we're looking for that attendance to be broken, just as Dewsbury looking for more points now. Just the 1 try so far from Eddie Rombo after that Nathan Graham break. Penalty to Nathan Graham and that excellent conversion from the try. Shuttleworth and Delaney the run around, but the switch back to Andy Dickinson. But Dickinson slings that ball out. Now then, Paul Worthy appearing in an unlikely position, but the cover moving up, and Dewsbury just put it together in the middle bit of the half. But certainly the start of the half and the beginning of the half, they haven't been too impressive. And obviously the derby games, it's another day, another game. But credit to Chorley, they've tackled well, but in fact Dewsbury in for a try then, and that was the score that certainly gives Dewsbury that little bit more breathing space towards half time, with just 5 minutes to go. With the Dewsbury now 13 men against 12. Let's see if they can take advantage as Dewsbury. Then the switch, take it to the right, then to the left. Andy Dickinson, ex-Huddersfield, had a good game last week against his old teammates, made that first try at Fartown for Eddie Rombo. Kelly, Shuttleworth taking it back into Bell, but the ball still going as Dewsbury now trying to throw the ball about, because there are tries to be scored. That one on the far side, and just as Chorley have lost that man, probably it's given Dewsbury a bit of drive, and there are going to be some gaps now in the Chorley defence.
Well, the thing.
Now then, ideal position. Gary Sidebottom just got that ball right on the 25-yard line, just in a good position to have a run and take the Chorley cover on. Paul Hughes again. I think Paul's better really coming off a ball handler out wide than taking the ball at first man, but he was in position, did that job then again. Shuttleworth, the blind side switch, and that's the danger for the runners when they're coming off the ball players such as Shuttleworth, such as Paul Delaney. There should be something on here. Must be right on the line then. Again, Paul Shuttleworth readjusts. Can he get the ball? And again, Paul Delaney bounces off. That again shows the strength of the halfback. It was the halfbacks in unison. It was the skill of Paul Shuttleworth and the strength of Paul Delaney. Following the sending off of hooker Tony Hodson for what was an alleged high tackle on Paul Worthy. That man Paul Worthy's got possession, and nice to see the Dewsbury prop straightening up and prepared to let the ball do the work. And in fact, Dewsbury playing all the football. There's something on again here. The break comes through. It's going to be another try, and again, excellent work by Dewsbury. I think we've got to go back to where that try started, and Paul Worthy set up that move.
That's the way to do it.
And Paul Hughes, kick through comes now, then Nathan Graham comes back, but in fact Nathan Graham gets the ball at the second attempt. In fact, he does well. Shrugs off a tackle. Can Dewsbury put something together on that far side? There wasn't a back kick through by Chorley, and luckily for Dewsbury, when the ball wasn't gathered, it bounced up in Dewsbury's favour. Again, solid challenge, but Dewsbury just managing to slip the ball from the tackler. Shuttleworth gets his support with him. This is going to be another try. It looks like the substitute Hughes in there under the posts again. That man Paul Shuttleworth involved. They're all waiting for his pass. Ran himself, drew the cover, and really Paul Hughes at 35, 40 yards to go, but it was a walk-in.
They've just looked at the scoreboard now.
Dewsbury, so looking for as many points as they can get. But a good bit of enterprise by Shale then. They tried a different kick-off and almost gained possession. When you watch a lot of rugby league these days, there isn't a lot of variety in kick-off. A lot of clubs just want to pump the ball into the 25, and certainly you can't beat a bit of variety. 1 or 2 long ones, 1 or 2 short ones, and try and catch the other team napping rather than fall into the same familiar pattern. Dewsbury just getting the bounce of the ball at present. That was one that could have gone anywhere, and again the good breakthrough. Now that's Nathan Graham. Has he the legs to go? The cover's coming across. Nathan's still going, but perhaps just then showed he just lacked that yard of pace. Nathan Graham with the pitch in front of him, but again he's set Dewsbury up on that far side. Again, that was one of those cases where the ball was flapping out in the air. Could have gone off to Shale, but Dewsbury getting the bounce of the ball. Can Dewsbury swing it crossfield? There's certainly some men over if they can get the ball out, but good cover tackle. In fact, they passed the ball to Shale, but good cover by Shale, because Dewsbury had a big overlap then, and a good man and ball tackle came, and it didn't quite kill the ball, but it certainly halted the attack, and it did save a try, because Dewsbury had some men out, but Shale handed the initiative straight back to Dewsbury. Bit of room on the right if Dewsbury can just calm things down. Denis Bailey on the far side. Denis Bailey goes for the corner. Denis Bailey gets it at the corner. So from one side of the field to the other, Dewsbury lost possession. Shale got it back, but kick off, and really a let off for Dewsbury. Kelly settling it down. Good play from the skipper, taking the ball from acting halfback. Shuttleworth to Worthy. Again, that's better, just driving the ball, not too bothered at this stage about slipping the ball. Let's go in at 6 points each and talk about it and start again in the second half. Bell's slip. Now then, this is the break now. We've got the break from Paul Hughes. He's got his support with him. The support's there, and it's going to be the try for Dewsbury. We've said that Paul Hughes hasn't broken. The second row man broke then. The support was with him. Dewsbury have gone over. They're going to go in at half-time. Against the tiring defence, Kelly's always going to do some damage, but it's Dickinson on the counter-attack. But gets the ball to Coghlan. They lose forward, so Batley perhaps playing a little bit too much football. Dewsbury back in the Batley 25. Delaney. Shuttleworth comes with him. Paul Hughes. Room out on the left. Nathan Graham. Eddie Rombo stops it with his foot, but gets the ball back into Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth to Glen Bell, the big New Zealander powers. Good slip to Worthy. Gets the ball out. Kelly. There must be room out right. Shuttleworth. Out it goes Dickinson. Bailey's in at the corner for Dewsbury. Back in the lead, Dewsbury. Excellent try. Good football. Good try as they moved it from one side of the field to the other. The derby has seesawed from the third. Kelly going for the line, and Kelly's in. Certainly a well-deserved try by Dewsbury, and a try, I think we can nearly compare it with Tomlinson's effort in the first half. Miss out Glen Bell. Hughes from Shuttleworth. Coghlan. Good break by the loose forward. He's got his support with him. Paul Shuttleworth going for the line. Paul Shuttleworth can't get there. Good play by Coghlan. Good play by Shuttleworth. It's Paul Shuttleworth attempting to play the ball as Denis Bailey gets the ball out. Dewsbury going to score in the corner. Good play by Dewsbury, moving the ball crossfield. Tomlinson. Eddie Rombo. But certainly that was a... Certainly Eddie Rombo's a difficult man to tackle. A side bottom breaks. Yeah, the strength of Rombo then, because it was a good tackle by Hendricks, yet Rombo started again.
Yes, he wrote 2 good tackles there, did Rombo, and got the ball out.
That's right, good play by the Kenyan. As Hughes braced through, can he get his support? He's just still struggling on. Certainly the Dewsbury back three really coming into things in this half, really running strongly, but Dewsbury do need that try.
2 battle players, some 20 yards in.
Glen Bell gets the ball, Dean Hall. running strongly, gets the ball to Coghlan, Vasey, and Vasey certainly strongly tackled there. I think it was probably Mark Scott, the Batley hooker. Shuttle is going to go solo. Gets the ball away from Kelly to Delaney. It's usually something on out wide. Get the ball, Gary Sidebottom's in at the corner. Perhaps the try had to come. It was Gary Sidebottom, the centre, as Dewsbury moved the ball from one wing to the other. Back for a drop goal. Dickinson. Back to one. The drop goal, of course, was charged down. A bit surprised, really, Dewsbury going for a drop. I thought they were in a position to keep going for the try that would settle it, where there's a drop goal and just really only give them still a 3 advantage.
Yes, it is rather surprising.
Paul Delaney again. Brushing men off. Dennis Bailey. Dennis Bailey on the outside. That's the try that surely settles the game. The pressures put on was too much in the end for Batley, and Dennis Bailey, when he got that ball, too much pace on the outside.
Yes, as soon as he got that ball, Dennis Bailey, you could see that there only one way he was going to go, and that was straight for the line.
Chris Vasey. Attempted drop goal, well taken that by Sean Baston. In fact, the ref hasn't wiped the slate clean. Dean Hall was coming steaming up then. If Lee Hughes could have just got that ball, Dean Hall was really calling for that ball. He would have taken a lot of holding. Vasey again. Delaney. Worthy tries to slip the ball on to Coxe, but seems to be whenever Dewsbury trying to move the ball out, you've got one of the four prop forwards rather in the way. Certainly that's normally out wide. We've got such as Hughes and Hall. Hughes still on the substitutes bench with Kelly. Not yet introduced Delaney. Glen Bell switches the ball back. Who wants Dean Hall? They can't stop him from there. Gets the ball down. That's a good try. Try that Dewsbury need just to give them that bit. He's going to pick out Eddie Rombo on that far side. Nathan Graham leaves it for him. He get his first touch of this half. What can he do? But, good copybook tackle round his legs. Marcus Charles. Neil Kelly switches the point of attack. Glen Bell smashing into the heart of the Trafford defence, looking for that slip. Kelly, Chris Vasey, Paul Delaney. Paul Delaney had a good game at Kelly again. Dean Hall now then. Dean Hall out to the tackle. If he can get on the outside of the fullback, runs round Andy Blow. That's a good try for Dean Hall. Puts the game beyond reach. Then the strength of Hall. His second try of the afternoon. Dewsbury 18, Trafford 6. 14 Hidden really has run well. Paul Hughes, another man, he really can run. Remember his excellent run on Boxing Day that set up that try for Paul Shuttleworth. Chris Vasey now then, has he the pace? Andy Blow comes across. Paul Delaney just can't battle his way past Richard Blackman. So a good quick tap by Dewsbury. Took play from 125 to the other. Something on the blind side. That's going to be a try in the corner. Looks like Nathan Graham, in fact, the man that went over. So good enterprising play by Dewsbury. Paul Worthy. That's Paul Hughes again. He really fancies his chances against this defence. Paul Delaney. Marcus Charles turns it back in field to Eddie Rombo. Rombo again, well held by Richard Blackman. The Trafford winger stuck well to Eddie Rombo on that occasion. Delaney, Vasey, Glen Bell. Glen Bell gets his ball. Lee Hughes, but still going. Good run by Hughes. Gets the ball outside to Glenn Coughlin. Good try by Coughlin then. Good play by Lee Hughes. Feeling the pace a little bit now. Good effort in the first half, but Marcus Charles, of course, the king of the interception, but just couldn't get clear on that one. Glen Bell gets the ball out. Lee Hughes almost getting towards the post, but good try then. It was created by Glen Bell. I think Glen Bell had the sniff of the try line.
From it.
What have they been doing in training during the week? We shall see from this. Bell was first in. Now it's short, and Shuttleworth and brings on this man Hughes. Paul Hughes 5 yards out, had a really roaring then. The Featherstone line has held so far. Shuttleworth, now Delaney. They've got to try and get it out as far as Rombo, unless Charles switches it back in field. And this will be a Dewsbury score! Paul Delaney has wriggled his way over the Featherstone line. Dewsbury are on the board.
A lot of people would have said, because they are so far behind now, that they were persistent in ploughing up the middle. That certainly wasn't the case. It was really an opportunity cut out here in the midfield here. Delaney comes inside to take the ball, and he goes...
Credit Longstaff with keeping cool there. His father Paul would have been proud of him. Paul, the former Hull Kingston Rovers player. This is Delaney now. And if Dewsbury could get the first score of this half, it will lift their morale no end. Here's Dean Hall, hauled down 6-7 yards out. Promising this for Dewsbury. Hall looks a trifle hurt. Kelly, Shuttleworth, Delaney, good build-up. They might have a spare man out on the right. Crazy, he might go there. He's got Rumbo in. Eddie Rumbo scores. Just what the doctor ordered for Dewsbury.
Keep their cool, and they certainly have in this second half. They've started as they mean to go on, undoubtedly. They've moved the ball out wide, and they've caused Featherstone a few problems. It really is a superbly timed pass. Puts Rambo over in the corner. What a start to this first or second half.
Just looked to be getting something going, and a bit of sloppiness by Baro put Dewsbury back in possession, so both teams guilty of giving the ball away. Paul Worthy. John Bastian again, getting through plenty of work in the early stages. Like Paul Hughes just trying to burst through, but I think Paul's a bit more effective coming wide out. It was straight into 2 or 3 defenders then. The run around on the switch, Paul Shuttleworth. Nothing on then now. Dewsbury going to move the ball from right to left, cross field. In fact, it's the kick from Kelly. Let's see what Pat Traynor can do with this. In fact, Marcus Charles has got in. It's a fortunate try for Dewsbury. Again, I'm sure the Baro coach won't be too happy with fullback Pat Traynor then. He'd plenty of time for the kick. He really did make a little bit of a meal of the kick. Marcus, the kick from scrum half Cooney. Plenty of time for both Nathan Graham and time for him to unleash Eddie Rombo if he wants. Rombo gets the ball. Good ball from Rombo. Shuttleworth. Marcus Charles. Again, good play by Dewsbury. Good support play started by Nathan Graham. A good play by Eddie Rombo, showing that as well as being able to run, he's also a rugby brain, bringing on his support. Glen Bell. Glen Bell, if you get the ball out, Chris Vasey. But again, a good cover by Highfield getting back. Shuttleworth got Mark Hague with him. Mark Hague, good. Again, desperate defence by Highfield, but Dewsbury still keeping the ball alive on that left-hand side. It's like Paul Delaney. Has he got the strength? But again, desperate. Last-ditch tackling by Highfield. Shuttleworth, crossfield, Glen Coughlin. Hughes needs to get the ball out. First try of the game, crossfield passing. It's Eddie Rombo in at the corner. We said Eddie'd be looking for a try. We often say, playing rugby league, playing any sports, do the simple things well. That's what Dewsbury did, Trevor. Because a lot of the players have St Helens connections. Willie Johnson based in St Helens, and 1 or 2 players playing this afternoon, ex-Saints players. That's Platt with the clearance kick, but it's difficult. The kicks aren't gaining a lot of ground, and plenty of time for Nathan Graham to take that ball. 2 or 3 players in at the tackle. Bell slipping it, and Dewsbury making the gaps on. That's going to be another try in the corner if they can get across. It is. That was for the earlier play. It was good play by Dewsbury to set up Rombo's try, but I feel then, Trevor, it was poor defence as much as good attack. That's the kick again. To Nathan Graham again. Plenty of time and time to find his support, which is Paul Shuttleworth. Now then, Marcus Charles down the middle. But again, the defence just getting back. Nathan Graham again. Inside this time to Dennis Bailey. That wasn't intentional, it just slipped back. If Dewsbury can move it. Paul Worthy. But a good man and ball tackle. Again, 2 players injured in the middle of the field. Glen Bell gets that ball away. Nathan Graham. Dennis Bailey. Again, really proving difficult to tackle whether he's going inside or outside. Certainly a much improved winger over the past couple of seasons. Glen Coughlin going solo on the blind side. the ground. Paul Shuttleworth again. Gary Coxe. Paul's trying to wrestle his way free from that tackle. There must be some gaps on the right if Dewsbury can move it. Faze's got Hughes. Hughes has got Rombo, but they won't need him because Paul Hughes is over for the third Dewsbury try, taking it to 14-0. In fact, it looks... Paul Shuttleworth, Chris Vasey. Because that's how Paul Hughes likes it, coming on to the crash ball then, but Highfield, couple of tacklers ready for him then. Of course, in recent matches we've seen the Dewsbury ploy of kicking straight from the scrum for the speedy three-quarters. Kelly, Shuttleworth, Gary Coxe. Gary Coxe running with the ball, really. 2 or 3 good bursts by Coxe, really. Still gives 100% every game. Shuttleworth. John Bastian, but getting his ball away. Nathan Graham shut down by Simon Chappell. Glen Bell's going to settle it down. But a good ball to Hughes. To Eddie Rombo. Eddie Rombo going for the corner. Eddie Rombo, the cover coming across. Eddie Rombo steps inside. Good play by Dewsbury. A good pass by Paul Hughes. And when Eddie Rombo looked as if he was going flat out for the corner, he suddenly stepped inside at the last minute. The fullback was left.
Kingston Rovers and lost easily.
Yes, that's right. That's just David Topley saying that Mark Conway's been recalled to the side today. Of course, you can't really play without a goal kicker at this time. John Bastian. Again, the Dewsbury forwards certainly running about. Glen Bell again there. Nathan Graham. Now then, Denis Bailey steps inside. Got to the fullback. Again, gets the ball to his support. Super play from Dewsbury. Out it goes on the far side. This time Nathan Graham will score. That was probably, perhaps in some ways, the best try of the afternoon. Good support play at speed, and Dewsbury defence well aware to that. Up and under from Cooney. Well taken by Paul Shuttleworth, who was well policed by Dolan. It was, in fact, the stand-up half that put short Paul Shuttleworth hard. Nathan Graham. Neil Kelly then. Now then, has Kelly got support? Ken gets the ball into Hughes now. Can Hughes get the ball, which he can do? Nathan Graham almost getting free. Denis Bailey does. Can he get it down? Denis turns over. And this time, Denis' strength enables him to twist in the tackle and get the ball down. Another good try by Dewsbury again. Good support for that relieving kick. That's the one. Marcus Charles quite happy. In fact, he was quite happy to watch that ball go into touch, but it didn't go in. So Nathan Graham slips it back to Paul Shuttleworth, who's got Simon Chappell and Sean Dolan up. Denis Bailey gets it away to Neil Kelly. Gary Coxe. Just walking, always keeping their eye open if they can get the slip ball to Eddie Rombo. And good tackle there, good tackling by Highfield. 2 men in at the tackle. Shuttleworth. Mark Hague, good ball from Hague, good delayed pass to Denis Bailey. Denis Bailey going on the outside and the inside. He got the fullback to be. He got the support. Marcus Charles gets the ball back to Denis Bailey. Getting it right out. There's Eddie Rombo's free on the right. If Eddie can get in at the corner, he goes across. Eddie's in at the corner. That's his hat trick. Excellent finishing by the Kenyan. But Denis Bailey down injured. Denis Bailey did so well in that try. Well, Dewsbury then. Highfield trying to be a little bit too fancy with the set pieces. And Dewsbury doing the sensible thing, just letting the big forwards. Dewsbury really do have a big pack these days, with such as Worthy and Bastian and Hughes when he's in the forwards. That man there, Gary Coxe. Not the biggest forward in stature, but certainly a big heart. Shuttleworth. Keeping the ball alive. Looks like a gap for Nathan Graham. In fact, Chris Vasey rather. Chris Vasey looking for his support. Finds Paul Shuttleworth. Paul Shuttleworth gets Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes, Eddie Rombo. Eddie Rombo inside, outside. Can he get around the fullback? Eddie Rombo just can't get to his feet. He's still going. Eddie Rombo, that's a marvellous try. That's his fourth of the afternoon. He did so well then because he eventually fell over, got to his feet again. Again, he owed much to the players inside him. Another good pass from Paul Hughes.
And it was just the final pass the lad had been through. I wouldn't say they scored a try, but it certainly made yardage. And we're just watching Paul Hughes now.
Eddie Rombo now. Eddie's after his fifth. Eddie's down the touchline. They can't get the Kenyan. This is going to be number 5. As Eddie puts the ball down, that's the 5th try for Eddie Rombo. But once again, we've got a man, Paul Hughes, a second row man. He played in the backs a bit, of course, for Featherstone when he played on the wing in the first division. But he's really given Eddie some good ball this afternoon.
There's the kick ahead, being chased by Aaron Conlon. Well gathered. Here's Denis Bailey. Long, loping stride. Vasey, oh, running well. A good inside ball to Nathan Graham, backing up as ever. Jewsbury really putting it together now. Neil Kelly. Neil Kelly still going. But he couldn't get it out to the support. Good break by Neil Kelly. Shuttleworth, Bell. Still it carries on. And Mark Hague is in. Mark Hague brings the deadlock. Sustained attack by Dewsbury. And they leap about with joy as the Baro line finally cracks. Mark Hague, the man who did it at the end. But 7 or 8 players took part in the build-up.
Well, this is a result of a really great deal of pressure. Shuttleworth flings this long ball out. Glen Ballard is who takes it in and just flicks it round. It looks as if the gap might have been stopped, but Hague is there. There's an overlap on the outside. He decides to go himself. He pushes one man off and takes Traynor over the line with him. That's a great try for Jules, because they really have put a lot of pressure on Baro in the last few minutes in this second half, Keith, and they eventually have made it count.
But still plenty of time left. Still the final quarter of the game to go. But this, of course, with Baro's midweek game, could be when stamina tells and those knocks and bruises and bumps that you pick up in midweek. And the Dewsbury fans really wound up by that try. They sense victory and revenge for the defeat at Mount Pleasant. But it's not over yet. But of course another try for Dewsbury would almost certainly finish it. And of course nothing like a try to put spring in the legs. Or dummy by Coxe. But he didn't get the ball out after making the dummy.
Should have used the speedman outside him there, Keith, because Coxe is not really that much of a sprinter himself, but Bailey is, and so's...
Oh, Kelly's got it! And it's a try! Denis Bailey. And a defensive error there. Kelly was allowed to regather the ball. And that surely is it. 2 tries in 2 minutes.
Well, Neil Kelly's had an outstanding game, the Dewsbury captain. There's a beautiful chip ahead. There comes Traynor. And did he take it off him? That could well have been a penalty. It looks as if Traynor had the ball then. And of course, this is just an easy running for Denis Bailey, but there's certainly a degree of doubt about that, because Traynor seemed to have the ball in his hand, and Kelly
led to a try. Oh, that's against the head. Shuttleworth. Squires is in. Is he? No! Just a metre out. But Kelly rocks over. The Baro defence spread eagle now, and Dewsbury are walking it. Chris Squires was almost in. A little dummy by Kelly, and the line was open.
The heel against the head, and that's to play the ball showing Kelly, and really he had to run it because David Cairns was against him, and it was real a bit of power against
from Kelly. But of course, a lot of tries scored from that position. Defensive lines don't know what to do. Go for the interception or go for the man with the ball. 10 minutes left. Dewsbury leading now 18-0. The floodgates have really opened. Well, Mark Hague getting away from a head-high tackle then from Paul Crary. Rather a smack round the ears. Gary Coxe getting it away again. So does Shuttleworth. Yes, play on. Neil Kelly. And now Dewsbury with 18-point cushion can afford to throw it about. Dennis Bailey. Nathan Graham. Spectacular stuff. There are men to spare. Is that forward? No, it's not. That's Marquis Charles. And he has the pace. Well, what in the first half was a tremendously close-fought game is now becoming something of a rout. Marquis Charles with the fourth try. It looked forward though, Alan. We may see that on the play the ball, the pass that sent Charles away.
It's certainly a great build-up though. It started inside the 22, and then as Glen Bell takes it up here, flings it out. There's Rombo. Now Rombo has got pace. He's getting away from Cairns. Cairns managed to hang on, but Rombo flings it inside. Great support here from Nathan Graham, and he makes that burst upfield, looking for support all the time. It's out there on the left somewhere. There's the spin pass. Did it go forward? Well, Marcus Charles didn't think so, and he took it. He has got pace. He's faster than Trainer, and Trainer's left in his wake.
Well,
the biggest mistake, of course, was missing.
Dewsbury inside their own quarters, but away again. Eddie Rombo. Now can Rombo beat Trainer? He's only got Trainer to beat. Inside, outside, oh, no trouble. He's been checked, but Eddie Rombo gets his 15th try of the season, and a mark in a fireside little gallop at the end.
A distribution. Beautiful ball here as it comes out. Both substitutes on. John Wilde is sucked in here, and that gives Rombo the outside. He's way past John Wilder. No chance of him catching him now. Moses Karasoma covers across field, but he steps inside Trainer at such pace. That's very difficult to stop. And just really astride. A little bit of a change in action. Leg action as he goes over. And then the celebratory wiggle.
With Squires, Denis Bailey's in from the wing. Here comes Bailey now. Out it goes Marcus Charles, Lee Hughes. Out it goes Vese, Rombo. Now what can Rombo do? Eddie's flying. Eddie's going to score for Dewsbury. The Nottingham defence say come across. In fact, I think Rombo's hamstring's gone. But or was he just easing up a little bit? But certainly good play by Dewsbury from a scrum. The ball went through. I think it was that arm round the neck, as it's like Glen Bell can't be far off then. So see if Dewsbury've got a set move up the scene, little switch move. Gary Coxe over for the try the first time this afternoon. As simple as you like, a dummy one way, a dummy the other way. Gary Coxe came straight through the middle, tire and fade out in the second half. Glen Bell there trying to smuggle that ball away. It was loose forward Ian Greenwood who spilled it for City. Mark Hague. Okay, Mark Hague, one of these players, does the hard work, does the donkey work, a lot of the unspectacular work that has to be done. As does, of course, that man, Gary Coxe. Kelly, Shuttleworth, Squires, the runner out, Shuttleworth. Just can't get Paul Hughes into space. That's the other Hughes, Lee Hughes. Paul Hughes coming to the line, but invariably into men when Dewsbury trying to work him into space. Now then, that's Paul Hughes into space. Chris Vasey. Eddie Rombo inside. Outside, Eddie's going to score again. The Eagle lands for his second try this afternoon. We talked about Paul Hughes getting into space. He got into a little bit of space, gave Chris Vasey the ball. Chris Vasey gave Eddie Rombo half a chance. Dewsbury 16 then. Nottingham City 6. Chris Squires. Dennis Bailey's in again from the wing, but this time Chris Squires happy to take on Tony Chappell because he's probably a little Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes striding through now then. Paul Hughes, is he going to unload to Rombo? He's got Eddie going down the wing, but Eddie tackled that time. Of course, every time Eddie Rombo gets the ball, the crowd rise to the feet as the ball swings cross field. Kelly thinking about the long one. Good delayed pass. Marcus Charles, Gary Coxe. Gary Coxe, Glen Bell on the left wing. Can he get the ball inside? Glen Bell to Gary Coxe in the Coxe and Bell in the left wing and left centre positions there. Let's see what can happen. Out it comes to Lee Hughes. Shuttleworth came back in. Perhaps Paul just closed that down a little bit. Might have been better advice keeping the ball going cross field. The long ball out. Kelly then, he's got a gap. It looks like Lee Hughes. Lee Hughes keeps his feet well. Came off the ball from Shuttleworth. The young fullback did superbly well then. He looked at one stage as if he might fall. But last Sunday, I think really for the safety of all players, it's got to come back. The blind side move, the switch is Kelly to Shuttleworth. Eventually it comes out to Eddie Rombo, but Eddie's just happy to move that one on. Chris Squires, but I think we can say safer there. Chris Squires took the wrong option then. He'd been better coming to his left than go to his right. I think Chris knows it, that he shut that one down a little bit. Paul Hughes going for the line. Marcus Charles, that was on a plate for Marcus Charles. Paul Hughes went into the tackle, came out the other side. Marcus Charles was there. He virtually, rather than pass it, he almost put the ball in his hands. And
this time, Marcus Charles.
I doubt if Marcus Charles will ever score an easier try. The first period, the first half of the first half, they were certainly very much in the game. Ball Shuttleworth. Neil Kelly, a little bit risky. And in fact, it very much looks as if John Bastian is on for Dewsbury. In fact, that looks like John Bastian driving hard for the line. So we'll see who has gone off. Looks like Glen Bell. In fact, Glen Bell there. Talk about his ball skills. Glen Bell behind the line almost put that one behind. That one's coming back. In fact, that's Glen Bell. He's been in everything this afternoon. Eddie Rombo, 2 tries. Headed going cross field, looking to link, and again Marcus Charles, Dennis Bailey. Inside, outside, he's done Roy Vantola. Dennis Bailey versus fullback Jackson. He's done him on the outside. Good play by Dewsbury. Nice to see Dennis Bailey on the score sheet because Eddie Rombo, his co-wing, has got 2 tries. Eddie Rombo very much started that one off. Took the ball cross field, floated. Shuttleworth, Squires. Marcus Charles through the gap. He's going to score. He's going to score under the post. A nice, well-rehearsed move from the scrum. Probably wouldn't have come off perhaps against stronger defending teams than Nottingham, but the gap was up, and the high-stepping Marcus Charles took that ball off Chris Squires. Again, a bit unlucky then, Mark Burgess. He was looking to slip the one. I was just saying how Mark Burgess has stood the pace well. I thought he might have faded in the second half, but he hasn't done. Of course, when you play a coach, you have to set an example, which Burgess has done. Unfortunately, then he just put Dewsbury back in possession. Glen Coughlin been a bit quiet since he came on. But on saying that, if he could have just looked the other way, then there would have been a try on, but he didn't. But there's something on here. Is the Squires going solo? In fact, Chris Squires brushes off the defence. I think the defence there were perhaps looking out to Chris Vasey, out to Eddie Rombo, and eventually they almost pushed Chris Squires over. So he's coming off, but let's watch the cares. Dennis Bailey's going to score, I think. In fact, looked as if he was going to score then, and In fact, it was the man Jackson that was involved in the first incident who managed to effect the tackle. He did well to stop Bailey, then Shuttleworth. Gary Coxe. In fact, that must be some sort of record because Gary Coxe has only been on the field about 30 seconds. And like Marcus Charles and Eddie Rombo, Gary Coxe has scored his second try of the afternoon. Jewsbury man really deserves a better really because it must be hard coaching Nottingham City when you're playing as well and struggling and taking these beatings week in, week out. You've got to admire the man. Neil Kelly, good delayed ball again. John Bastian, good pass from Bastian to Dennis Bailey. One-handed pass. Must have been on a Glen Bell ball handling course. Shuttleworth. Squires. Oh, well taken, Glen Bell. Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes is going to score. They can't stop Hughes. The pace and the power of the big second row man. Got him in at the corner then. And as we said earlier, it was just a time earlier when Mark Hague took that ball. We've seen it with Nathan Graham. A rugged player, Denis Bailey. Can Dewsbury finish with the try? This time it is a try. Dewsbury have finished with the try. It's Paul Worthy. So we've had Bell scoring, we've had Coxe scoring, and Paul Worthy that time.
Delaney gets that ball out to Bastian. This is the time ball in the tackle for Shuttle. Shuttle going down the centre. He's bobbing, he needs stopping, he is stopping. High on the airs and Kevin Rose. This is number 10 for Jules, but Rose is coming forward. He's tackling there, short of the line. Kelly slips that ball to the big number 8. He's going to be held on his back once. But certainly from where we stood, where we stand, that ball was still on the player's chest. But the referee...
Dewsbury score, foul.
There's Glen Bell. The referee appeal now will have penalised John Basilose for holding in the tackle. He's been allowed Dewsbury to get away with that all the day, and he's soon decided to penalise. And that's Razor now getting away from the defence after Glen Bell playing in the open. Shuttle on the floor. Ball going back to suggest. The referee says yes. 10 yards from the keeper line. That's Mark Hague. There's the ball. Gets it out to number 10 Worthy, but he's held short of the line. To your right. Kelly it is. Works it. Take the ball. Acting half. Certainly Dewsbury player there look to be interfering with play in an offside position behind the player the ball. That's it. Very, very quickly. Well, Dewsbury should be in there. It's the fullback goes in. He gets from outside his league rules.
Dewsbury score and
Dewsbury players on this side to score that people have been drawn in.
Glen Bell's hurt himself then, actually. He really went in on Fogarty, but these lads don't like to admit it. But I think Glen Bell felt the force of that. Fogarty refreshed from those 10 minutes in the sin bin as Hughes gets the ball in. Shuttleworth up to full-back Oates, but well tackled. We've got to give credit to the defence, because when Dewsbury half broke, Huddersfield have got back. Kelly switches it back inside. Paul Worthy, again, good play. Worthy gets the ball, it comes out. Coxe is going to score. Dewsbury have got over. Good support play, moved it across from the left back to the right, and Paul Worthy did well. Slipped the Delaney, that's the long one to Hughes. He's got Bailey. A good tackle by John Walker, though. That was excellent tackle. Excellent tackle by Walker on Bailey. 2 tackles gone for Dewsbury. Dewsbury 2. Keighley 0. Right on the line, and perhaps a try would settle this scrappy encounter down. Shuttleworth. A good tackle on Mark Hague, still gets the ball away. Delaney battling, he's going to score. The standoff goes over. The first try of this evening's game. Paul Delaney showing all his battling qualities and his strength. That's Rombo. Hasn't had too many running chances tonight. Glen Bell. So he gets the slip in. Nobody wants to run though. But Worthy gets the ball going. Nathan Graham comes in from full-back. Now then, Dennis Bailey. Dennis Bailey versus Butterfield. When Dennis Bailey's gone, the winger's going to score in the corner. Nathan Graham made it, and Denis races under the post. Dewsbury 10, Keighley 0. It came from the 25, their own 25. We said nobody really realising that they've a match on their hands. Not as easy as they perhaps thought as it goes out. Eddie Rombo now then. Eddie on the outside. Can Eddie go? They can't catch the Eagle. The Eagle is going to score in the corner. His 20th try of the season. Eddie Rombo puts the ball down. That was just what Dewsbury wanted. Keighley were getting on top at that stage. It's from Dixon. Long. But Nathan Graham well back, able to read the ball, and conditions been dry. The ball is bouncing, standing up, and really Nathan's run so well tonight. He's the Dewsbury man of the match so far. I think Eddie Rombo coming for that ball, but it was Mark Hague that got it. Eddie coming to take a bit of pressure off his forwards that didn't just work out. Again, 3 tackles gone. Could well be that Keighley back here again next week. In fact, that's another rest. Glen Bell coming up the far side. There's no support. It's certainly a good run. Right 5 yards into the Keighley 25. Dewsbury 18. Keighley 7 as the ball comes cross field. Coghlan. Lee Hughes. Stepping inside, good ball. Nathan Graham just almost breaking free, but again, good play by Dewsbury. Dewsbury moving the ball right cross field. There could be something on the far side as Keighley come across. Referee Redfern comes across, gives the try. That's surely the vital score at 18 points to 7. Dewsbury needed it. It's now Dewsbury 22. Keighley 7. Again, the ball. In fact, a bit of something on for Dewsbury. Coghlan. In fact, just as we spoke about substitutes, Chris Squires getting warmed up on this side as Kelly to Shuttleworth. Gary Coxe running strongly into the heart of the Keighley defence. Kelly waits. In fact, Gary Coxe has another go, nobody marking. Again, good play by the prop forward. Took the first drive, no marker, so he played it to himself. Took the second drive, Shuttleworth. Out it goes on that far side. The ball bouncing about. Rombo on the far side. The Eagle scores his second try of the game. 26 points to Dewsbury, 7 to Keighley. Eddie's 21st try of the season. Again, the key to defence at 6s and 7s. The ball moved out as Delaney finds Squires. Squires, the bounce pass, Nathan Graham. The long ball, Marcus Charles. Oh, good ball on the outside from Marcus Charles. This could well be the opening try of this match. In the corner, looks like Nathan Graham, who's gone on the outside of Marcus Charles. A shade fortunate because the pass from Chris Squires did bounce. The long ball found Marcus Charles. And Nathan Graham, well, we often call it in soccer, good running off the ball. Oh, strong. That's Smith again. That's the chip into space, but again, that's well read. Well swept up by Paul Delaney there. Dewsbury, Eddie Rombo getting the ball early. And now then, Eddie's through the gap, comes up to the full-back, beats the full-back, but a good cover tackle. But again, Eddie Rombo showing what an exciting runner he is, and coming in from his wing there, midfield, Delaney. Paul Hughes and Eddie Rombo not waiting for the ball there, prepared to go into midfield, and on the second tackle, almost got through. Kelly. Just 1 or 2 now from the crowd, but Neil Kelly's such a clever footballer. Makes so much play for Dewsbury. Coughlin, he's run well tonight. Gets the slip in, Delaney. The long ball, that's Lee Hughes. The slip is Nathan Graham. Out on the far side, if the ball can come out to Marcus Charles, but Gary Coxe just held. Perched on the line, there must be something left. Dewsbury crash over. I think it might well be Paul Worthy that's got over. Not too many tries for the big prop, the ex-Leeds man, but we could always see then there was always going to be plenty of plays. Twice in 5 minutes that Doncaster had to turn the ball over. Mark Hague. Delaney. Coxe gets the slip in. A little bit high there by Richard. I think Paul Delaney perhaps just held it a fraction too long there. The runner looked as if it just got into the gap, but it's a lot easier up here than on the pitch. Squires. Clever kick, good regather. Can he find his support? Lee Hughes on, in fact it's Nathan Graham on the half volley. The dummy scissors. Nathan Graham, that's sheer football. That's a great try by Nathan Graham. It's the dummy scissors, the hallmark of a great player really. Sid Hines used to do it at his peak, and that was still keeping the ball alive as Marcus Charles kicks it and regathers and play on if we can get the ball out on the far side, but again, Marcus Charles did well then because he could have given them 6 more tackles, but after getting his foot to it, he eventually recovered the ball. Glen Bell running like a centre. Looked like Doncaster were on for the first try at one stage of Squires. Coxe running out wide. Can he find his support? And 2 men in at the tackle. Kelly. The good ball to Hughes. Coughlin. He's done some damage. He's still going. And again, Neil Kelly rides that tackle. A high attempt. He's certainly looking. The captain wasn't too keen on that one. Delaney's ball to Squires. The ricochets play on. That's Paul Hughes going for the corner. The big centre's in. That's the settler. Dewsbury 18, Doncaster 0, and perhaps inevitable, Trevor, it had to come. 25 minutes gone, Dewsbury 18, Doncaster 0.
But yes, he's been a good player as David over the years, and he's got a few records for the Dons.
Of course, a long time ago, he played for Wakefield and Hull as well, didn't he? So he's... yes, he's spelling club rugby in France, he's seen it all. Coughlin. Battling to the end. About 4 minutes left. Dewsbury 18, Doncaster 0. 4 tries to 0 tonight. Comprehensive victory, but sterner things lie ahead on Sunday. Delaney again. Battling through. Now got the ball to his support now. Then have Dewsbury got the legs? In fact, that's an excellent try. And let's give credit not to the man that scored it, but the man that made it. Chris Squires scored it, but Paul Delaney really has had a superb game, and his strength and running and battling, and he really put it on a plate for Chris Squires.